Hey everyone, my name is Brent Cody. I'm the CEO and founder of SureLink AI, and I'm really excited to show you where we're at with our desktop application. In order to download this, just go to our website, SureLink.com, and click on download. You can enter the password we gave you. If you don't have that password, just click request access, and you can get on our early adopter program. You can either select your operating system or you can just click download now and it will download the executable for your computer. When you install that, it will take a little bit of time to download AI models. So make sure you have a good internet connection and be willing to download about 10 gigabytes of files, because these AI models are going to reside on your computer, and then they can work completely offline and your data doesn't ever leave. So SureLink AI is it's a platform that gets the most out of local large language models. When you download this, you'll get your speed model first. It'll be either a 1 billion or 4 billion parameter model, and it will then download your accuracy model as well. You'll be able to use this while your accuracy model is downloading, and the first part of this is that it works completely offline. So if you turn off internet and you want to ask this any questions, say, tell me about Fort Collins, where we're at right now. It works just like any other chatbot. You could say, maybe convert this into a memo, or the other thing that's really nice about this, and we have it set so you just click off the screen to refresh your prompt. It works really well with formatting. So if you're into coding, you can say, write a Python script making plot. It will format all your code or your tables accordingly. It works just like a modern chat interface, but it works completely offline. Now, one thing that's really important to know is the models that you use offline are a lot smaller, and they're not as capable as the data center models. So you'll have to figure out what level of accuracy you want to use. SureLink AI is really good for dealing with private data, but it's not as good at dealing with public data. If you're just going to be dealing with public data, you're probably better off to use ChatGPT. But if you want to deal with private data, like data on your computer or data that you want to keep secure, this is really a good solution. So the offline chat is one of the features, but the big feature is linking your data. And so when you click SureLinks, you can sync files or folders. And there's a couple options on here. You can have it automatically describe linked images using your AI on your computer, and you can have it automatically OCRing PDFs, and you can have a per second timeout. So those are some advanced features that we can talk about in a further video. But it's fairly simple. You just zoom in, or you go to a folder you want to sync, and then you just select that and click connect link, and we just synced 800 files in I think maybe 2 seconds. Now we can ask anything we want once we turn that SureLink on. So this is public meeting notes for a water district in Colorado that I worked for. You can say something like, tell me about Brent Cody, and I'm gonna bump our model up to accuracy just to see if that works a little better. What it's doing right now is it's basically looking through the files and getting information pertinent to your question, and then in about 8 seconds or less, it will tell me about me. So this is going through 800 files and pulling relevant information based upon any questions you ask. The other thing too that's really neat is it gives file links. So if you click on those, it'll pull up those meeting notes or whatever file you have linked to it. This works for all sorts of files and gets a lot of good information. This algorithm is something that we're continuing to increase our abilities on, increase our accuracy on. The other thing that is interesting is it will sync things with images as well. So I'm going to sync an image folder. What happens when you do that is for each file, it goes in and runs AI to analyze those files. And it'll give a summary, and that's what it will do to create the ability to ask questions about it. So a neat feature about this too is you can click link in the background, and you'll see that the files are linking in the background. You'll still be able to ask information or ask questions about things that you're looking at. This link icon is where you can turn off and on knowledge repositories. And so we're going to turn our images on, and let's go back to speed model, see how it works. I'm looking for an image about an airplane. So here's the image of the airplane. It's the LRC airplane. See, this is when we're running the speed model. It's a less accurate model. It turned our file path into a URL. Let's run that again with a more accurate model. And that's important to know, that the more accurate model your computer can handle, the better it is. So they found an image of an airplane, and it didn't put that HTTP on there. So when you click on it, it pulls up your image of your airplane. And you can ask any questions about the images that you have linked or synced. You can also share those repositories, and so you can rename or share or delete those. If you want to share information about that repository, you can hit share. You can put an expiration date on there, and then once you do that, you can basically email anyone a knowledge repository. So anyone with a SureLink AI desktop app can ask questions about the data that you've synced. We're also working on a writer tool where you're able to upload a template and give it a prompt, and it will rewrite it, but keep all of your headings and your images and write it in your writing style. Finally, I wanted to show you some of the advanced settings. We have an API endpoint on here, where if you enable your endpoint on there, what's happening is on your computer you're able to ask multiple questions at once. So here's an Excel file that has a prompt where you can ask questions about your app. There's two ways to do that. One is asking just general questions. Here's a general questions where Morton, Illinois, where town where I grew up, and then you can have it ask in those multiple. You can select your model and your prompt, and it will just go through and ask as many prompts and answer as many questions as you want, which is really nice. If you have a lot of AI prompts to ask, if you've got SureLink AI turned on with the API tool, you can set up your own programs to ask local AI questions. That really saves a lot of money, and if you're using a free version that's on your computer, it's also really private. The other way to do this is you can have this run where it uses the settings that are actually on here. So let's do this. I'm going to turn off the meeting minutes and ask a couple questions that are related to that. So let me zoom in real quick. So these are some questions that are pertinent to those meeting notes. And if I run those questions through without having that knowledge repository turned on, it's not going to give good information at all. Obviously, I'm not former U.S. soldier and YouTuber. Looks like publicly available meeting minutes. We're not. All of this is just general things that you get if you just ask ChatGPT. Now let's turn on our knowledge access again. So I'm going to just turn on those meeting minutes. We see them in the upper hand. There's links are active. Let's rerun that batch ask. And so this will, now what's going to happen is it's going to go in and it's going to answer those questions more accurately because it's using our knowledge repository. So all of these are correct. Momentum Engineering is my engineering company. But those meeting minutes pull up the correct information about dealing with the Bella Foundation. So I hope you like this tool. We're building fast. It's going to be I think it's going to be a really great all-in-one solution, and you can see how fast you're able to sync your files. You'll be able to sync, tens of thousands of files very quickly and be able to ask any questions on there. So really appreciate you being part of the early adopter program. Please feel free to reach out anytime, and also feel free to give feedback. There's that give feedback button on the lower right. If you click on that, it'll allow you to let us know what's on your mind. So thanks everyone, really appreciate it, and we will be sending out more communications later. Appreciate it.